Well, it's lunchtime in Calgary, and many of these businesses would normally be bustling with patrons. But unfortunately, because of the vaccine passport, we have seen business dwindle to virtually nothing. These places are absolutely empty. Meanwhile, just mere meters away on the street is a large crowd of people having a picnic.
Well, start by saying thank you for boycotting a place you're not allowed to go to because we didn't want you anyway. The actual thing about this is that most people, the vast majority of people, actually say, you know what, I'm more likely to go to a restaurant if I know the person at the table next to me is vaccinated. And so I'm encouraging everyone who is vaccinated, now you can feel a little bit safer. Now you should feel like you can support these local businesses. And frankly, if there's going to be less drunken, Yahoo, belligerent people yelling at you about conspiracy theories, it'll be even a nicer night out, won't it?
There has been a troubling trend emerging on social media and in society at large, a trend fueled by politicians like Justin Trudeau and Naheed Nenshi with troublesome rhetoric about people opposed to forced vaccinations. The people out here have been vilified and called names and ostracized and excluded by businesses by these vaccine passports, and yet they are not mad. They have been gathering peacefully and lovingly to protest these restrictions, to stand up for their fundamental rights, and they will continue to do so despite all the hatred that they get.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
We have seen a pretty active, vocal crowd online vowing to try and put people out of business for following these rules. What can these small businesses do to avoid all the hate and the attacks that are out there right now?
Well, start by saying thank you for boycotting a place you're not allowed to go to because we didn't want you anyway. The actual thing about this is that most people, the vast majority of people, actually say, you know what, I'm more likely to go to a restaurant if I know the person at the table next to me is vaccinated. And so I'm encouraging everyone who is vaccinated, now you can feel a little bit safer. Now you should feel like you can support these local businesses. And frankly, if there's going to be less drunken, Yahoo, belligerent people yelling at you about conspiracy theories, it'll be even a nicer night out, won't it? Let those of us who did the right thing, who got vaccinated, have fewer restrictions on our lives. The time for education is long over. And it is time for serious enforcement. And as much as I don't want to encourage people to quote unquote snitch on their neighbors, if there's a wild party next door, call 311. Businesses who put in a vaccine passport will only have some common sense restrictions on them. Businesses that don't will have a giant headache.
Adam Soos here for Rebel News, and we are on Stephen Avenue in Calgary, where folks who are not being allowed to dine in these restaurants because they won't participate in the vaccine passport system have taken to the streets for a picnic protest. So first off, what brings you out to the protest today?
I work in the industry. I'm a server, and it's been really rough for us, especially with all the restrictions and everything. So here to exercise my right, hopefully get my job back.
To stand up for our rights, our freedoms that are being taken away from us through this vaccine mandates and through the masking, through all of it, right? I don't agree with any of it.
We all should be free to take our decisions and to be responsible about what, in this case, vaccines we want to put on our body and what vaccines we don't want to put in ours.
I don't think we should have any systems in place that prevent people from going into places just because they may be a carrier or something. I mean, how many people with flus went to diners? Nobody ever cared. So that's what I think this is showing that, no, we've had enough. You guys are lying. You've been lying since the beginning. This is not about COVID. This is about control.
Despite the fact that these folks behind me are just having a lovely picnic, apparently their ideas are too dangerous for you to handle, so YouTube doesn't want you watching this full video here. If you want to watch it, you can go to Rebel News or click the link in the description below.